Pew! Greetings, it's Multiplier here with a new style of video. Aren't you lucky people of the YouTube? And yes, what is going on? So as the title of this video suggests, this is a one sample challenge between me, Multiplier, and ZenWorld, which is another person on the internet, which you may have heard of. If you haven't heard of ZenWorld, go and check them out at some stage after watching my video, because my video is the most important because I did it. But yes, what we're going to do is try and make a track, or maybe just a bit of a track, using one sample as a bit of a challenge, which I think you'll find quite interesting because it's almost like the ultimate in restricting your choice. You've literally just got one sample and you've got to try and make a track from it. So I will probably get quite creative, I would have thought, I would have thunk. And yes, shall I show you what the sample is? No, what I'm going to do, yes, I'm going to show you the sample. Click, listen to that, epic sample. I think ZenWorld recorded it, not entirely sure how. He sent it over, and yeah, I'm going to make I'm going to make a bit of a track using just one sample. Isn't that impossible? No, it's not. I'm about to show you in this video. And yeah, using the magic of editing, I'm going to show you the final result. Now, this could sound good. It could sound completely ridiculous, or it could be a combination of the two. Merge. Roll the clip. Wasn't that fantastic, or ridiculous, or both? How on earth did I make that using just one sample? It must be impossible. Not really. I'm going to show you right now. So I have one single sample to use. What am I going to do? Haven't even planned this video. Classic Multiplier style, but you know what? You don't need planning when you have the knowledge of multiplier knowledge. So first things first, let's make a kick drum, because that might be quite difficult and it might be interesting. So how on earth am I going to make a kick drum from a clap sound? No idea. So I'm going to first of all stretch it out and see what happens. I think that'll be the first thing to do. So move the start point over here like so, hit warp. Oh, what's going on? Mental confusion. Turn off the original and name this not the original, like that. Make it bigger so I can read, like so. Forgot something important. Right, whenever you're making kick drums, you must color code them green, otherwise, yeah, you just get lost. So, right, cool. So that is a bit of something. Right, I need to stretch that out to see what it sounds like. I'm hoping as I stretch it out, I hear some lower frequencies, but who knows what's going to happen. Actually turn off warping. Let's not do warping. And I'm just going to, yeah, leave warping off, but use the transpose to stretch it out. Look at that. Confusing, not really. Ooh, that doesn't sound good at all, right? Well, I can't hear any low frequency information, and that is alarming because I need some low frequencies for a kick drum. Now, is there even any fundamental anything going on? So that is just a bunch of uselessness. How am I gonna? Right, I'm gonna have to get creative now. I guess that's the whole point of the video, right? Get creative, Multiplier. Don't just hope it all falls together. Now, righteous. What I'm going to do is create a resonant bump. So I'm gonna, yeah, stretch it out a bit more. Like that. I'm then going to create a resonant bump, and then that will be the fundamental, even though it won't really be a fundamental. And then I can pitch that down and make it into a kick drum, hopefully. So that is that. Turn up my headphones a bit, which you can't hear. Cool. So let's use an EQ8. Let's do a crazy sort of thing like that. Actually, you know what? That's some low frequencies coming out there. You know what? It doesn't have that bassy low end, but it's starting to sound like a kick drum. Yeah, because it doesn't ring out. So yeah, there's none of that sustained note. So there's going to be no body, even if I boost the mids and then pitch it down. So yeah, we're just going to boost the low end to give a little bit of an attack, and then I'll have to create the body using synthesis, which I'll show you. That'll be interesting. So Kool and the Gang are a fantastic band. Also, Kool and the Gang is the formal version of Kool. Yeah, so let's bounce that mofo down to audio, freeze, and flatten. Look at that, it's already starting to look like a kick drum. Magic. Oh, look at that, beautiful, beautiful. I am a genius. Let's turn off warping and just tighten up that attack a touch. Can always, in fact, we will shape it a bit later for lols. Cool, so that is a bit of a tack. In fact, you know what? I'm going to start creating it into a bit of a track because I want to know what sort of genre shall I make? Shall I make hippity hop or hip hopopotamus or the dubsteps? Not really, that's probably quite difficult. Instead, I'm going to make some form of weird futuristic trap music. So I'm going to do BPM 150, yep, 150. And yeah, kick drum, and then I'm going to use just the clap by itself. Oh, didn't name that. Kick, and then I'm going to use the clap by itself as a clap. Who would have thought that? Creative, right? So yeah, put that there, move that across, then maybe move that there, and then... Oh, wrong bit, want it there. Sweetness, and I'm going to create a bit of a pattern, so, and then maybe move that there, and then another one. What about that? Loop, loop-de-loop. Oh, that's stupid. There you go, hippity hop, trap, whatevs, coolies. The pattern isn't that important. The important thing is how I get creative, which I will do now. So I need to try and find a way of making that boom sort of sound. You know, the 808 tails in the hippity hop, in the trap music, like boo. I need to make that sort of thing. So what am I going to do? In fact, I'm going to take, I see something useful. I see almost like a sine wave in there. See that bit in the kick drum? Zoom effects. Actually, I'm not going to do a zoom effect. Use your eyes. See, there is a bit of a sort of a wave shape. So maybe if I create a new channel, just call them claps. I need to try and extract that dude. So if I do a bit of that, and then also a bit of get the little end flag, and then I need to try and just line it all up like that, and then maybe I can make that into something. How am I going to do that? Maybe using a sampler. So what I will do is, yeah, I'll use a sampler. So I'll create a new instrument, simpler or sampler. Let's use sampler as more control, and then drag that into there. And I haven't looped it through, so I need to hit the loop button, which is, where's it gone? This one? Kind of works, kind of sounds horrible, but we can fix that. Cool, so that loops through. I picked something quite boring. Right, let's go down to E major, buttons, buttons everywhere, buttons everywhere. Now, does that look right? If I play, I want to make sure the sampler's working right. E major. Actually, I know why it's not working. I haven't set the root key. I know what to do. Oh no, because that's going to be fiddly. I have to do some fiddly. Oh, this is going to be difficult, right? I wonder if I can do it. I need to find out what the. Oh, but then I've got to pitch it up and down. This is actually more difficult than I thought. How am I going to do this? Maybe if I just duplicate that through, what will this? Made a crucial mistake. I just loaded it into the sampler without tuning it, so obviously it didn't work. So There you go, and then I can, but it's still not going to be exactly on a note. Maybe I'll have to do some fancy tuning. So this gives me a clue. It's going to be around C1. In fact, it looks pretty exact on C1. Obviously, it's not perfect, but perfect enough for this video. So looking at that fundamental. In fact, you know what? Why didn't I just take that? You know what? For funtivities, I'm just going to... No, I'm not. I'm going to load it into a sampler. So that is approximately C1. So hopefully this will, if I set that to C1, it all kind of works. Let's do some tests. So C1, I can't see it. Funny, I'm hilarious, by the way, if you haven't seen my videos before. Right, C1. Now what I need to do, turn it up bare loads for bears. I'm gonna run some tests by just looking at some stuff. So right, that is, oh, go away you stupid machine. Right, E0, so that should be, looks like E0 to me, and then E1. Wowzers, trousers, it's exactly what I want. Coolly, so it's approximately tuned. If you want to get really fancy, you could probably do some more hardcore maths and analysis to work out the exact tuning, or do some tuning by using the detune and then using your ears and looking at phasing and all sorts of fiddly stuff. So, but I'm not going to do that because it's actually quite close anyway, which is cool. So yeah, look at that, look at that, look at that. I'm convinced, I'm convinced, I'm convinced, I'm easily convinced, but you know what? That will do fine and dandy. You know what I could have done? I could have done some, what I could have done maybe is when I did that resonant boosty sort of thing is, now that wouldn't have worked. So ignore what I just said, could have edited that out, but I didn't. Righteous. So now I need to turn that little horrible sound into a boo sort of thing. So I need to use a pitch envelope for that. So what I'm going to do is maybe just leave that there. That might be useful later. No, it's not. I'm going to get rid of that. So actually, I'm going to leave that because that might actually be useful later. No, it's not. Delete that. So pitch oscillator. Well, first of all, I need to set the... no, I forgot something. I need to set the overall amplitude envelope so I can go without me having to hold it down, because that's important to me. So filter global, and here is the overall amplitude. So crank up the release. Sweetness. And you know what, let's filter out loads of those higher frequencies while we're here. And I've half forgotten how the filters work in this. There you go, look, filter. It's in front of me, idiot, idiot. Right. Oh, it's starting to go towards an 808. I am a genius, I am a genius, I'm a double genius. We can tweak that in a bit. Oh, you know what? It's already starting to get there. Release a bit more. And then cool. How do I want the attack, decay, sustain to work? So I think I want a tiny little blip at the front. So the sustain down a little bit with a short decay. But then the way I'm going to trigger it is most of that tail is going to come from the release. So how you set up your ADSR depends on how you want to trigger the notes. So I'm just going to pull down the sustain a few dB, and then quicken up the decay. You know what? I basically made an instrument as well that I could use later on. Pretty cool, right? But I'm all about that 808 vibe, so. Oh, did you see what happened there? As I was triggering notes, they're all overlapping and you get phasing as the tail of one note is then layering up in a horrible way with the start of the next note. So I need to kick this into monophonic mode, which basically means only ever one note can come out of this thing at any given time. That's a weird way of saying it. So monophonic mode means you can only ever trigger one note at a time, so you don't get any overlapping. And to do that, you change the voices or number of layers or number of instances to 1. Therefore, there's no way notes can overlap and you don't get this horrible phasing. But what would be cool as well, just for fun, I don't even know if this will make it into the track, but is to have a little bit of a slide or portamento for this sound. So if I do one note, then another one, it doesn't just go it goes like bloop, bloop. Does that make sense? Should do. So instead of, so slidey from one note to the next. And what button is that? Is it this one? Info. Oh, that's the envelope time. Where's it gone for doing slidey? I can't remember because it's been a while since I've programmed one of these mofos. Where does it, pitch oscillator, it'll be in there, won't it? There you go, glide, portamento. I think the difference between portamento and glide is the number of voices. Yeah, portamento works polyphonically, so glide is actually the one you want to use for a monophonic sound. And if I increase the time, see that? Sliding from one note to the next, knowledge with multiplier, ooh, amazing. So now I can trigger some dope 808s. I'm impressed. Right, cool. So that is the start of an 808. Should we do a bit of distortion now, even though we were supposed to do some pitch envelopes? We'll get to the pitch envelopes. No, we won't. We'll do the pitch envelope now. I was going to use the shaper in sampler, but I want to do some more fancy compression and distortion afterwards with something else. So, pitch envelope. So the pitch envelope is controlling the pitch, so it's like sliding down on the keyboard. For a kick drum, to give you that punch, you want a really fast pitch envelope going down at the front of the sound. So most of your kick drum is body, the same note. It's a really horrible attack, actually. I don't know, we'll fix that maybe. But yes, at the moment, most of the note is the same the whole way through, or in fact it is. So I want a vloop thing right at the front, and that will give you the punch. Right, cool. Pitch envelope and amount, probably 12 semitones will do nicely. I'm not a fan of that super high-pitched, clicky sort of thing in a kick drum. See that? If you go too high, it just sounds a bit like, meh. I don't want that to sound like that. I want it to be like, boomf, not like meh. So change that to 12 semitones. I like this challenge. It's fun because you have to get creative. Otherwise, I would have spent just an hour choosing 808s from a cymatic sample pack. So this is actually quite a nice challenge. Who thought of it? Me, brackets, actually stole it from other industries, but that's cool. It's part of our new collab thing that I'm trying to run through the music industry, because at the moment, people on the YouTube aren't collabing. So I've got loads of projects in the pipeline. You may have seen some teasers for a mega collab. This collab is separate to that. So, but yeah, let me know if you like it, by the way. It's sort of some sort of mid-video commentary. If you like the idea of a challenge, stick a challenge idea in the comments below. And me and Zen World, or even me and somebody else, if you have any other ideas, we'll get to it. We'll have a little YouTube battle. And yeah, learn new knowledge at the same time. Learn new knowledge. That'll be our slogan, I reckon. Cool, so that pitch envelope is giving you some punch, but I want to quicken up that decay. I normally find for 808s, I tend to find a decay time of around 100 milliseconds. Tends to work pretty well, especially for pitch envelopes over, say, an octave or two. So see how that's now got a bit of punch? In fact, you know what? Maybe a bit longer in this case. I suppose it depends on the curviness of your pitch envelope. Yeah, I don't want to hear it as a pitch bend. Just got to be a bit of punch. Maybe 24 semitones. Yeah, that sounds good. No, well, not release. Undo. See, 100 milliseconds. Told you. Righteous, and that's a bit quiet as well, so I'm going to do some distortion, which will make it interesting and cool and dandy and ting. And yeah, that'll also maybe bring up the level when I turn up the level. So let's do some creative distortion with the form. In fact, you know what? Shall I just layer these over to kick drums? In fact, you know what I've done? I've made a bit of punch, even though I've got a different attack layer. That's perfectly fine. We'll ignore that I've already got a bit of attack anyway. We'll just layer it up, see what happens. So, yeah, what shall what note? Is that even a note, that kick drum? I don't even think it is. Let's double check. Maybe? something. I don't know, whatever. Let's just do some notes. We can always change it. So I need to draw in some 808s underneath these kicks. To do that, I'm going to use Magic. I don't want it to be too deep. Yeah, G sharp should be cool. And just using my eyes, not showing off or anything, but I do have some. I can line them up like so. Bingo, bango, bongo, wowzers, trousers. Is that a spooky ghost? Oh, you know what I've done? I've made a mistake. Because I set up the ADSR to bash it like that, that doesn't really work. So I need to actually shorten these up. I made a mistake, people. It's okay. Even monkeys fall out of trees. That's one of my favorite sayings. So yeah, if anyone's writing a Wikipedia article on me, start off with my favorite saying, even monkeys fall out of trees. Because it's wisdomless and it's also about monkeys, which are amazing. You know what? It's starting to come together. But I want a longer tail on that, so increase the release. That rhymes. Increase the level. Cool, so that is a bit of something to work with. Let's do some effects and things. So 808 tail. And then I'm going to add some reverb on this, on that kick layer. And cool, add some reverb with just, yeah, the built-in Ableton one. I think there's a good ambience one in this rooms preset. One of these ambiences. There you go, giving it some room. Sweetness. You know what? That clap is super weak, so I need to add some sort of snare, like kapow sort of sound. But that might be quite difficult. Yes, I'm going to use some Max for Live stuff. I just had a thought there. I'm going to use some Max for Live stuff to generate something to work with, because right now I just have a nice simple clap, but it'd be nice if I had like something like that. And yeah, Max for Live will be the way to do that. So what I'm going to do is save it actually, because otherwise I might lose everything and this video might crash. So I'm going to save this in music production, because we are producing music right now, and I'm going to call it Clap Your Hands, everybody. Just like that, right? So clap your hands and collect all and save. There you go, some more useful Ableton knowledge here for peoples. And yes, let's new channel, copy this. Oh, I forgot to do something important as well, which is color code the 808 tails. Now 808s to me are a very, what sort of color are they? Like bright orange? I mean, there's not many. It's not really bright orange, but that'll have to do. So, and yeah, let's keep these light green. Oh, blue, green. There you go. Green is cool. So green, and yeah, let's color code these bright blue. Right, this is important. You'll think it's not important, but the way your project looks affects how you hear it. So if it's all bright and sparkly, then your track will sound bright and sparkly. So makes sense? It does. Right, cool. So let's actually get into some useful stuff for you. So I'm going to call this Max for Live Insanity. And I'm going to find some, I'm going to solo it first of all. I'm going to find some Max for Live effects that are going to take this single sound and catapult it into a million things, or maybe just 2 or 3 things, but that's cool too. So yeah, Max for Live audio effects. And then that'll also give me some more source material to work with if I want to make this video 4 hours long, or maybe continue it later. We will see. I'm probably going to end up just making a cool little beat, like a dope beat or something. Yeah, because I think that'd be more, I think it's more useful for me to show you almost in depth if you did like 2 or 3 different creative processes instead of just doing 10 or like a service level. So Yeah, let's do, I've no idea which one of these might sound cool. Let's just try a few. So swirl, what was so useless? There you go, that's probably useless, isn't it? Right, useless machine, right. Well, there's your snare drum sorted. See, I'm a genius. Should have done that earlier. Right, cool. Notice, this is important. Notice how every time it triggers, it's different. I should have used that for the kick drum. Oh well, we'll use it for the snare. I showed you something useful with the kick drum anyway, and it's all about giving you ideas and inspiration, creativity, etc. Hashtag Diplo. Right. So duplicate that a million times. Freeze. Flatten, and there you go. There's our snare. One of these will be a snare. I'm going to choose both of them. I'm going to have, this is going to be one snare drum, and then this will be another one. And then I need to somehow line it up with the grid. So yeah, I'm just going to do a bit of that, and then change. Stupid machine. Oh, what happened there? What happened there? Oh, there it is. Cool. And then just move. In fact, yeah, that would have made a really cool kick drum to then maybe in another video. Actually, no, because the phase will be all kind of whacked. So this wouldn't actually make a good kick drum. Actually, then again, it wouldn't really make a good snare drum necessarily because of the phase. Whatever, who cares? Yeah, cool. So that is a cool ting right there, I would say so. What's going on with the phase? Let's nudge it there. And then make it a bit longer for the tail. That should do fine. And then I will move this guy over here, delete that, stretch that out, in, out, shake it all about. That's what she said. Move the start position to there, right? And then move it a little bit. And then do a bit of this and listen to that. Actually, yeah, I'm going to stretch that out because that would be cool. So, consolidate, Command J. Change the color so I don't get muddled up between these two instances of the sound because they're different. So one will be, that red is ridiculous. Right, pink, there you go. Pink green works for me. So and then we'll do a bit of texture twice as long. Is that the right button? There you go. Try that as well. I'm not totally convinced on that. Cool, and then run that through some reverb, and that'll go in the track. That'll be our dope beat. I'm gonna do some more stuff, don't worry. How long is this video? Quite long. We'll make it another 20 minutes or so. Just because, yeah, I've still got another few ideas I do want to try out. Yeah, Cooley's right. I mean, that's pretty sweet. That was the first thing we tried as well with Max for Live. I probably should have started with that. But you know what? I showed you something cool with Sampler. Showing you how to make an 808 tail from a clap sound. So yeah, let's grab something like, I don't know, bright long verb is quite good. Now let's try freakier one. And then actually I can use these claps as little intermediate dudes, can't I? Brilliant. What about just moving that there? I don't even know. That sounds horrible there. What about? Try that there. Just trying things out. Maybe just bring them down in level. Actually, let's do what I'm going to do there. I'm getting distracted. I know what I'm going to do. This is also useful creativity that hopefully you'll appreciate. So I'm going to take a simple off hi-hat pattern like this, run it through some delay, and that'll create some top-end percussion loop sort of interest thing. Also, I'm going to use a plugin, even though I said that was cheating, or am I going to do that? Yeah, screw it. Let's cheat. Let's break the rules, but in a way that's kind of okay. Simply because there are loads of ridiculously cool presets in Sigmund, and I quite like it. So I'm going to use Sigmund and try and find a cool preset just by flicking through presets. And that will take that simple sound and hopefully make it a bit more interesting. So yeah. Actually, I can create two versions of that because I can definitely see me creating all the percussion energy just with this concept. So discard. See how all of a sudden it's like you've written a crazy complicated percussion loop that's just from a simple sound run through a delay unit. Also, secret knowledge here that's going to freak you out. That's also how lots of sample packs are made. It's just a case of taking something simple, running it through some generative process because it's generating some sound, and then filtering the result. That is a lot of how sample packs are made. Sorry to burst the bubble, people. Now the question is, how complicated do I want my drum loop to be? Oh, I've got back to the beginning. Right, I must just pick one. This is classic choice paralysis. This is part of the reason why I'm doing this challenge, just to limit your choices, because otherwise you spend ages just cycling through presets. Oh, I think I turned up something by accident. Oh, undo a million. I think I just made that louder, didn't I? Right. Stupid, I pressed the wrong button. I tried to make the delay louder. Play through your... What you doing, you stupid... Right. Yeah, I made that louder. Wanted to turn up these delay things. Cool, and then, yeah, once I do some mastering, that'll be brought up in level a bit as well. Cool, and then, oh, bumped into something. Don't do that, multiplier, right? And I call this Oscillator, and then I've forgotten the name of this one, so I'll just call it Dinosaur. Dinosaur, even, no, Dinosaur. Got to spell stuff right. Dinosaur clap layer. That's clap. I've written clap twice, maniac, right? Dinosaur clap layer, and then actually let's bounce these out just so it runs through the entire clip. You'll see what I mean in a sec, right? If I duplicate that, freeze these, bounce them down to audio. I was going to explain what I'm doing, but then I thought I'd just show you that's the easiest. Cool, so you see this? See how for this second section, the little delays things actually start at the beginning of the bar? like this bit here, whereas if I hadn't have done that, then at the beginning of the section, there'll be that gap, and I don't want that. I want it to be nice and simple. So Command J, write that out as a fresh loop. Command J, write it out as a fresh loop, loop-de-loop, and there you go, look at that. Cool, so that's the drum beat going. Final step, don't worry, this video won't be 4 hours long, is going to be create a main primary source of interest. Now, you could argue that these cool little snares are almost like a source of interest, and they kind of are, but I also want some other thing in it that makes you go, wowzers trousers, what is going on? That is freaky. Give me all your money. No, I'll give you all my money. Wait, what I want is some primary source of interest in the track that makes you go, yeah. Make sense? Cool, so final step. Now there's a drum beat going, and I've done 3 interesting little ideas. I'm going to kind of do one of the ideas again, but in a different way, using Max for Live to, yeah, make a primary source of interest from a clap sound. Also, let's do, buttons right, collect all and save, whilst I remember. And then I'll do a really, really super quick mastering just to bring everything up to level. Because normally I don't do, in fact, I'll explain that in a bit. So, yeah, right, cool. So, solo. Let's find some freaky Max for Live-ish. Now, we've done swirl. What about warpoon? In fact, I should have done this earlier. Oh, I'm clicking swirl again. What a sort of maniac am I? Right. Basically looking for something that makes me go, yeah. Now that could be a bit of a whoop, or it could be a anything that makes me interested, basically. Not just another drum sound, which you can make loads of kind of through here. So, yeah, I'm going to just flick through some of these. Space Echo. Should we try that? In fact, you know what? I'm going to do it twice. That's going to be one of them. And then I'm also going to... So that's like a sound effect. What happened there? Sound is just coming out randomly. I don't know what's going on. Right, whatever. Let's just freeze that. Stop that happening. Freeze. So yeah, basically I just want a little bit of a sound effect. Actually, why am I doing that? Look, this isn't demonstrating anything new and cool, which is the main point of this video. So let's just leave that, whatever. Oh yeah, that's good running on. Actually, that's cool. Right, let's bring that up in level. And then but that's also not the primary source of interest. So I do need to create another main interesting bit of something, but I'm going to keep that in because that's cool. Actually, that needs to be chopped. Brilliant. Call that brilliant. And yes, final source of interest coming up now. Let's do collect one and save again. Hashtag paranoid about projects corrupting, which does happen every now and then. Ooh, how long is this video? Quite long, but that's cool. I have actually covered some useful things in this one for a change. Now, seriously, it's cool though, right? Some cool ideas, which I think are interesting. So yeah, raindrops. And it's raining outside. Some sort of like connection with the universe happening there. I want Space Echo again. I've already done that. Right? What? Why does that keep happening? I don't know. Well, if you need some more drum sounds, just do this. Pitch drop. Ooh, what's that gonna do? Nothing. Stupid. Stupid that. Oh, I think, yeah. That's like a noise when you pull out the power cable on a set of turntables. But yeah, let's not do that. Pendulum. Very cool. Oh, you see, I just want to keep layering up these drums. I could spend, not even exaggerating, I could spend 2 hours just creating bits of noise and layering it all up, and I probably should do for this video, but I don't want it to be epically long. But what you could do in a theoretical universe, which includes this one right now, because I really want to do it, is just take a sound like that sort of thing and layer that up with the snare, and it'll be like, oh, Jack, you. Why am I talking? Why don't just do it? Cool. So same concept as before, run it through an interesting effect that does something. But that didn't do it properly at all, right? Yeah, again, also max for live is a bit temperamental. You just have to, something to do with the way the DSP works. I'm not a DSP expert. See how it's all different every time? No idea why. I'm sure some of you DSP guys could tell me. But I actually want to layer that guy up with a snare drum. Let's consolidate that. And then... No, sounds useless anyway. Why did I do that? Wasting your time. Right, cool. So let's actually find this primary source of interest, which is the thing that... Oh, solo. What is... I didn't have hot swap turned on. You... All right. Monster Crunch. That sounds like Monster Munch. Oh, I forgot to do hot swap again, right. That sounds terrifying. I don't like that. That's scary. I don't like being scared by that. That's horrible, right? Cool. Cyclist Ron. Some great ways to make interesting drum sounds here. Brackets, fully expect all of you to make sample packs from this next week. One of these must do something crazy. That might be it. You know what? That is going to be it. You know what? I'm going to keep that one and then have another 5-minute play to see if there's any better. Because this is the primary source of interest. And for the sake of 5 minutes, I'm just going to double check to make sure there's no better ones. So, Squirrel Parade. Oh, that sounds good. Squirrels are... Don't trust squirrels. Squirrels are one of the few animals I do not trust. Squirrels, sharks, wasps, owls. The untrustworthy four. Like that, even. The untrustworthy four. Squirrels, owls, sharks, wasps. Never trust them. Oh, that's really cool, though. That's a fantastic noise. You know what? I think these squirrel ones are actually better. Run that through some reverb and that is it right there, right. Let's bounce out a few versions of that in case it is different every time, which it sometimes is, as I've already proven to you. It's like some freaky... Oh, see, it's different every time, right? Let's pick a good one. Oh, freaky, love it. That was good. Right, that one's the best. Number 3, you are the winner. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. Consolidate. Levels, where is that? Cool, and then run that through some reverb and stuff once I get the timing right. I'm a genius. Right, let's run that through. Some reverb, and then I have to do a little bit of mastering compression for reasons that I'll explain in 1 to 2 minutes time. I wouldn't normally for this video, but it's actually quite important in this example. So yeah, let's find a cool reverb and save that. Doopy doopy doo. Wonder if any of these specials will be cool. Reflections. Crank that up in level as well, actually. Too loud. And we will call that Don't Trust Spelling. Squirrels. Don't trust squirrels, and we'll color code it black because squirrels are evil. Actually, I'm gonna do something freaky with the reverb because I'm getting totally distracted. Right, cool, I'm gonna duplicate that out. That is the super wet. Can you hear the aeroplane? I've always wondered if you can hear aeroplanes or if the denoising and gating actually stops that happening. So this is the reverb, but I actually only want it to be like there, and then crank it up really high, and then apply a fade, and then it's more interesting. So you get all that reverb vibe. Get rid of that on that channel without it just being a reverb. Oh, way too loud. Sort of maniac, turned it up, idiot. Right. Little fade. It's a horrible reverb, actually. I should have done that with a better reverb. Yeah, keep it quieter. Why did I turn it up? I am an idiot, right? There you go, subtle ting, and it just sounds horrible. Actually, delete it. Don't like that, right? Where's that level meter going to? We can turn it up a bit. Cool, so what I'm going to do is bounce all that down to a fresh... No, I'm not. Screw it. Let's just throw some stuff on the mastering just to compress it all together. The reason why I'm going to compress this now is normally I don't bother doing much compression because you can just design the sounds to be dynamically what you want them to be like in the first place. Whereas in this situation, it's just they've appeared like they've appeared. So you have to do some compression to get it all dynamically okay. So yeah, I do actually need to do some. Let's just, screw it. I'm going to use presets because I'm not in the mood to set them all up as fresh. And I want basically I want the compression to do something creative. And the easiest way to do that is just to, hop through presets. So Devastor 2, let's do some of that. Hopping back onto the cheating route. And yeah, I'm just going to hop through presets and see what jumps out. Because it's also adding character and I like that. Gee, what is going on there? It's clipping on the master, right? Oh, let's just stick a limiter afterwards. Because the limiter isn't going to be doing much, just a simple Ableton one should be. Oh, I stuck it on the dinosaur layer. Lunatic, right. Yeah, the limiter's not doing much in this case, it's just catching the odd peak, so the Ableton one's fine. And in fact, it's probably a limiter built into Devastor 2, but whatever. Oh, stupid, why isn't that not play, you stupid machine, right? Certainly bringing out the 808s, that one. Cool, so that's starting to sound better. One final thing I will do is just do some EQing because I think the higher frequencies need a bit of a boost, and just for fun I'm going to use a vintage EQ because according to lots of marketing it sounds better and placebo effects and everything. So let's just use some vintage EQ because then that will definitely sound better instead of just sounding different. So yeah, what was that noise? Crazy, no idea. Right. Oh, mid-cut, don't do that one, just a boosting. Just start moving things randomly. That's the. Just start clicking randomly, just until something happens. High mids, yeah, boost some of that. Cut the mids, yeah, why not? Just no. Oh no, right. Forget it. Let's do something else. Normal EQ because I can't deal with that. That's just insanity, right? EQ. Now the limiter's doing stuff. Maybe just bump that there. Alt. Yeah, screw it. Let's do some limiting as well. Just for fun, why not? So yeah, let's use the actual ozone. If I'm going to do this, if something's worth doing, it's worth overdoing. That's my philosophy. And this video has been the longest one in ages. So let's actually, yeah, just run that through Ozone 7, which is the magic thing that fixes everything in terms of limiting and stuff. So yeah. So I clicked a button there. IRC4 is the multi-band limiter version in Ozone 7. IRC3 is just the normal magical limiter. So yeah, IRC4 multi-band, IRC3 single band. Cool, should bounce that down to audio. True peak limiting, a video or a concept I'll discuss in a later video now that I know what it means. So yeah, let's do a bounce down, bounce up, bounce down, bounce all around. I'm gonna do this. Actually no, screw it, let's just save it and then I'll just hit play and then that's fine. So cool, righteous. That is, should we make it look pretty for the, oh, what happened there? Maniac. Right, let's make it look pretty for the introduction of this video. In fact, you know what? Mr. Giraffe is going to trigger the final playthrough of the sound multiplier Zen World one sample challenge exclusive, game-changing YouTube ideas, promotions, merge of everyone. Let's do it right. Cool. So here it is. The final playthrough. And there you have it. Video complete. Wasn't that impressive? I liked it. You know what? I thought that was a nice challenge. In fact, in all seriousness, I'm trying to push the whole collab thing right now in the YouTube world, in music, because it feels like everyone's at the moment got their own little silos. Like you may watch a multiplier video and 2 other YouTubers, but there's also 5 or 6 more over here that you may not have heard of. In fact, if you look at the mega collab that kicked off a day or 2 ago, I must admit I hadn't heard of about 5 of them, or at least 3 or 4 of them. And yes, it'd be quite nice just to, start to know all the other music YouTubers. And we can do that in some sort of like cross collaboration, mutually beneficial, promotional, not even promotional, just like, it's like awareness, like being aware that like there are tigers in the jungle that need food and stuff. I'm making you aware of other channels and vice versa. So everybody wins. Isn't that cool? You win, I win, winner, winner, chicken dinner, I would say to that. So yeah, video complete. And I would say it's been a success. It's been a successful video. And if you have any ideas for challenges and or people you want me to collaborate or do a video with, let me know in the comments below and I'll get on it. I'll make it happen. I will do it. I really need some sort of like catchphrase, some sort of signature thing I always finish the videos with. And yeah, last time I finished off with a clap, so let's do that this time. Also because this video basically came from a clap. So the video was started with a clap and it's finished with a clap. So circle of life, etc.